The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, dedicated to creating access to financial well-being for local people, businesses, and communities. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Real Pickles, a worker-owned cooperative in Greenfield producing organic fermented vegetables sourced from Northeast farms. More information at realpickles.com.
Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith. We have a lot of music and a lot of community helping each other on today's show, and also birds. Super pretty birds in a new book from artist and author Robin Crowfoot Brittingham, as we talk about her paintings from the illuminated book of birds that you can currently see on display at the Berkshire Botanical Garden. We'll also have live music Friday with Beloved Valley Party Band Lux Deluxe as they gear up for their post-Thanksgiving benefit show for the food bank at the Iron Horse. But first, this Sunday, Western Mass and the world's favorite octogenarian rock group brings songs of resistance and revolution to the stage of the Academy of Music, and we get to crash their rehearsal of 10 Alarm Fire.
We are in Holyoke on Ray Street at De La Luz Soundstage, which is one of the many locations that the world-famous octogenarian rock and roll chorus based in the 413, the Young at Heart chorus, rehearses. Because this Sunday at 3 p.m. at the Academy of Music in Northampton is a big Young at Heart chorus show for a cause. And we are with the founding director of the Young at Heart chorus, which I believe started in 1982?
Correct, it did, 1982.
Bob Silman. You've been doing this a very long time, Bob Silman, to the point where...
Old enough to almost be a member.
That's what I was about to ask.
I started when I was 29, and now I'm going to be 73 soon.
And how old do you have to be a member?
75.
Oh, wow. So that is...
But in 2 years, it'll be 80, so...
Well, yeah, because it used to have to be how old to be the Young at Heart chorus member?
55.
See, it's... I guess we're getting older more gracefully, that we had to bump that age up much, much more. And you brought some chorus members with you.
Yeah.
I'm John Dunn. I'm from Northampton.
Sonia Nieto, Amherst.
Rosie Kane, Greenfield.
Orlando Isasa, Holyoke.
Love it, from right here. What is the theme of this weekend's concert, and why?
Well, it's about what we're facing today. Every day you look at the news and we know we're in trouble. And we want to just sing songs with our community to express the fact that we're not really satisfied with the way things are going in this country. And we were singing songs from great songwriters, not the obvious protest songs necessarily, but all the great musicians had a protest song in them, and they all made one, and we're covering a lot of them.
While I was eating a bagel at Comfort Bagel next door and listening to you practice, that was a great selection. I heard the Slits, I heard Fiona Apple, heard Green Day. Like, this is a really interesting array. I mean, there's always a really interesting array of songs that Young at Heart does. But this one, because there's such a wealth of protest songs, allows you this giant breadth of things to do, including, I hear, in another language.
Who's singing in what languages?
So Orlando and I are singing in Spanish a Mercedes Sosa song called Si se calla el cantor.
Tell us about what that song is protesting and what it's all about.
The song is about the importance of the singer and of song. That if we lose the song, we lose everything, because the song and singing is life itself.
Was this a song that was important to you as a younger person?
Oh yes, and being from South America, that's very powerful music of protest in that part of the world, and very close to my heart.
We've got the Irish represented here, who are another
singing in Irish.
Oppressed people. And are you singing in Irish,
I'm
actually?
not actually singing in the Irish language. Some version of English. I'm singing two songs that are associated with the Celts. And I'm singing one from the Manic Street Preachers.
Is it If You Tolerate This,
Yes,
Then
it
Your
is.
Children Will Be Next?
Yes,
That
it
song
is.
broke my heart the first time I
Yes,
ever heard it.
it is indeed that one.
And on the streets tonight, I know that place with newspaper
Waltzing Matilda, more associated with the Pogues and Leo Clancy.
Yeah. Also, I was in a band in college called Waltzing Matilda, so you're really speaking my language, Rosemary Kane, and that language is English. But another
My language is crying.
I know.
Singing in Italian.
You are singing in Italian.
That's right. Yeah.
Tell us what you're singing.
I'm singing Bella Ciao, and Bella Ciao is a very old protest song. Its most recent existence is as an anti-fascist song, and it's about a man who realizes he's going to go out to war to fight the fascists, and he's saying goodbye to all of the people that he loves.
Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. I see the soldiers outside my window. E ho trovato l'invasore.
And that's the Bella Ciao.
Being of an Italian-American descent, I decided I needed to learn at least a little Italian and learned all the lyrics of Bella Ciao in Italian, and it's become very, very important to me.
You can sing it with him.
You can join us on stage.
Maybe.
A little young, but
Yeah.
I saw you sing it at Look Park this summer and thought it would be a great song for this concert, and since I'm half Sicilian, I thought that's even a better reason to do it.
I let everyone know at Look Park during performance, what do we call it now? Transformance.
Yes, transforming.
That my grandfather, who was Italian, was Antifa, as they say, and went and fought in World War II. This is called 10 Alarm Fire. Where did the name of this particular concert come from?
We were going to call it 5 Alarm Fire, and people said, no, that's not enough. It's got to be 10 alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you can't avoid it. You know, it's all around us right now, and we just want to be part of the protest that's happening around this country right now, and the best way we can do it is doing it on stage and singing these songs. And We Won't Shut Up is kind of coming from that Fiona Apple song, but, you know, we won't shut up. I mean, it's, you know, they're always trying to shut up old people, so we're not willing to do that.
I still remember when we were having this conversation as a chorus, and we were talking about 5 Alarm Fire, which is like the worst kind of fire, and Evelyn Harris said, no, it's worse than that. It's 10 Alarm Fire.
Of course, Evelyn said that.
Evelyn Harris of Sweet Honey and the Rock fame, who's roaming around here somewhere.
He gonna take you away. Hey, what's that sound? I wanna know what's going down. Tell me what's going down. Yeah. Can you see the sign?
You are all of an older generation than Khalees and I, and you've experienced many things that we haven't had to go through in the generation. Khalees and I are late Generation X or early millennials. Zennials, Xennials, the Goonies.
We are the Goonies.
When you see what's going on right now, having gone through the lives that you've gone through, tell us what you're feeling about and what advice you can pass along to us as we navigate through these times that, as Bob Stillman from Young at Art Chorus here has said, is a 10 alarm fire.
Patience is not a virtue in this situation. We've all got to be doing something. We are in a serious, serious situation. We have everything to lose. We can't wait for somebody else to fix it. We all got to pitch in and do it.
You know, I have been through so many protests over the years. We started with our little girl, who now goes to protest herself. And, you know, we were protesting against the protests against bilingual education, multicultural education, ethnic studies, all fields that I've been in. And so while that may not sound as dire as it is today, for us it was when we were your age and younger, when we were, you know, taking over offices and being arrested because of our feeling that, for example, in the Puerto Rican Studies Department where I worked, they were trying to tell us what leadership we should have, and we said no. So we took over the registrar's office, the president's office. I was a faculty member, and I was one of the faculty members arrested in 1974.
Wow.
I mean, you can't say that that's not important, because we see like the battles over education right now and like trying to show a more accurate picture of what America and the world is and how much that's being silenced. So like, don't belittle that fight.
Yeah, and you won, and there was a time where you had many victories, but now you have to fight the same fights again.
It's an easy transition, I think, for this generation, our generation. But at this age, I certainly wasn't quite sure what to do. You know, how did I marshal myself into some kind of active protest? And then suddenly we're on stage with this amazing repertoire, this very brave repertoire. And so it really feels like we are now again activists, even though we're disguised as old people.
Everybody's crying mercy when they don't know the meaning of the word.
I was pretty active in the 60s against the war, and also during the times when Martin Luther King was assassinated. I was part of the takeover of the buildings at Brandeis University. I actually negotiated the takeover with the president. So it feels like we made progress for decades, and now we are deeply regressing, and it's appalling, it's surprising, it is tragic.
What remains a thread through protest songs that you knew in your youth and some of the newer ones that are part of this concert that you notice?
I think it's just the desire to fight the status quo. You know, we thought the status quo was going to change, and it did for a little bit, but we're now back to square one. Actually, we're beyond back.
A broken home, a broken heart, isolated and afraid. Open up, this is a rain. How hard it is to lose to you. You're not alone.
You know, this is really an interesting group of people. You know, young at heart, they're not a monolith. They don't all think the same thing. We have people who have, you know, served in the Army, the Air Force, the Marines, the Navy, the Peace Corps, the Venceremos Brigade in Cuba. I mean, we are a real rainbow of people, but everybody feels the concern right now. And that's why we want to address the subject.
I also think that it's important that this is a multilingual concert, which concerts never were really before. And so we have several languages, not just Spanish and Italian, as you'll see when you come to the show.
De colores se visten los campos en la primavera.
It's great because over the years, the Young at Heart Chorus has expanded from just kind of being Northampton-centric to now rehearsing in Springfield, rehearsing in, and we're 413 too. Before we let you go back to rehearsal, it's NEPM's Hunger Awareness Week. The March for the Food Bank begins with a mini march in the Berkshires on Saturday and will continue on Monday and Tuesday, up 43 miles from Springfield to Greenfield over 2 days.
Pass this place, don't you?
We will pass right past this place right before lunch on the first day. And Young at Heart Chorus has famously done the Pointer Sisters' Yes We Can song for many, many years. And you're tying it into hunger awareness as well as a food drive before the performance on Sunday afternoon at the Academy Museum.
Yes, we're working with Northampton Neighbors and Diane Purcell, who used to be with us for many, many years, to have a can drive, and people who bring bags of cans will get a Young at Heart CD for free. We're just trying to address this issue that's, you know, that now with SNAP being in question and everything, we got to come together. And we're asking people to please bring food, and it'll go eventually to the Northampton Survival Center.
The Northampton Survival Center, one of the 199 food pantries that the Food Bank of Western Mass works with. Bob Stillman has to go get ready to rehearse for the second act here at De La Luz in Holyoke. We'll hold on to these chorus members for a little bit longer before they have to go sing.
When we came in, there was some mention of a costume change. Do you have costumes for this show?
We have 2 sets of costumes.
Yeah, the first ones I saw were like fedoras and trench coats. Is that?
Yeah, we're kind of people who are down and out surrounding a jungle campfire, you know, in the Depression or later in the 30s and 40s. And in the second act, we're people who are fighting for our rights.
So I see a lot of berets. What does your shirt say?
It says,
Viva Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico Libre, which means long live a free Puerto Rico.
My coat is a replication of a soldier's uniform from the 1916 Rising. So how much more rebellious can that be?
Well, thank you so much for letting us eavesdrop on your rehearsal here. And this is our special Live Music Friday extra, I guess, because we're gonna hear live music from Young at Heart Chorus. Thanks so much for inviting us.
Thank you.
There's something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there.
telling me I got to beware. I think it's time to stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look at what's going down. Battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. You better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street. They singing songs and they carry inside. Mostly saying, hooray for our side. You better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody know what's going Paranoia strikes me. Into your life it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line. The man comes, he gonna take you away. You gotta stop. Hey, what's that sound? I wanna know what's going down.
The inimitable Evelyn Harris on For What It's Worth, part of the 10 Alarm Fire concert that Young at Heart will be putting on at the Academy of Music this Sunday. Monty and I were in tears at this rehearsal. It was so good. Find tickets and info for Young at Heart's 10 Alarm Fire concert this Sunday, November 23rd, through the Academy of Music's website, AOM Theater, spelled the fancy REWay.org. As of broadcast, tickets are still available, but they go fast, y'all. We'll hear another musical group using their musical powers for good as we hear Lux Deluxe get ready for their post-Thanksgiving benefit show for the Food Bank of Western Mass after we get into the birds and the beautiful illustrations of Berkshire native Robin Crowfoot Brittingham from her book, The Illuminated Book of Birds, and tell you how you can meet her in person on November 29th. You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Hashi Pottery in 50 Arrow Gallery at Eastworks. Japanese-inspired ceramics and textiles, where every piece is handmade in the Pioneer Valley for home, ritual, or someone dear. HashiPottery.com. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass Amherst School of Public Policy, offering in-person and online graduate programs in public policy and data analytics. Admissions now open at umass.edu/SPP.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. Robin Crowfoot Brittingham is an artist and writer. Her work focuses on the creation of real and imagined worlds inspired by nature. Her practice largely consists of the creation of large-scale works on paper that explore the complex relationships between humans and the natural world, with a particular focus on themes of overconsumption and environmental degradation. Her paintings imagine a future where humans and nature coexist in a fragile but harmonious balance, drawing on mythology, speculative fiction, and current events to build worlds that illustrate alternative narratives.
Originally from the Berkshires, she received her BA from Bard College and an MFA at the San Francisco Art Institute. She was the recipient of the Murphy Cadogan Award and a Martha Boshin Order Award. Her work has been featured in Juxtaposed, Novella, Frankie My Modern Met, High Fructose, among others, and has been exhibited in solo and group exhibitions throughout the U.S. and Canada.
But it's her new book, The Illuminated Book of Birds, the first in a forthcoming series of nature books written and illustrated by the artist that brings her to the show today, as many paintings from the book are currently on display at the Berkshire Botanical Garden in Stockbridge, and she herself will be at the gardens to talk about it on Saturday, November 29th. Thank you, Robin Crowfoot Brittingham, for joining us
Yeah,
about your bird book.
I mean, you said that, and then I realized I'm like, oh yeah, Crowfoot. There's a bird. Oh wait, no, Robin Crowfoot. There's 2 birds in her name.
2 birds.
Destined to write a bird book.
Is there a Brittingham bird? That would be amazing, but
I'm still looking for one.
we should name one. You should discover one.
But as
Yeah.
Meatloaf also said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
What got you into doing work about the natural world?
Well, I started the sort of ongoing series I'm doing when I was getting my MFA in San Francisco, and I was really interested in California, in these huge sort of natural contradictions that exist in the California landscape, because it's this lush paradise where, you know, everything grows and the weather is perfect all the time, but there's also all of these like farming practices that are huge monoculture farming and floods and earthquakes and all these things. So I was really interested in the sort of precarity of the paradise that California is. So that's what started it, and then it's grown into have many other arms to that project. Yeah.
We talked with another artist earlier this year about watercolors, which is what most of the work in this book is, watercolor. And they said that they work in watercolors because it is unforgiving.
Yes.
What is the appeal of working in watercolors for you?
I mean, I agree with that. I think that it depends on your personality, what kind of paint you'll sort of end up with. But I kind of like the chess game aspect of watercolors because it is unforgiving, but it's also that creates this system where everything you put in, regardless of whether it looks exactly how you want it to, like produces what you put in next. And I kind of like the building blocks and the sort of unpredictability that comes out of that. And also, like, if you look at my paintings, I like to play with watercolor being super controlled and watercolor being really loose and having big washy patches, and I'm interested in those 2 things.
Yeah, and you get both of those in the paintings in this book that we're able to see. It's cool. I don't think I realized in looking at the book, because the way it's broken down is really interesting. You got birds by region and then birds by type towards the end. But it's these giant tableaus that I don't think I realized initially are like giant, larger paintings that within the chapters get broken down into the little pieces you can see within that painting, which is kind of cool in a Hieronymus Boschist sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of crazy to do them that scale, given that they are in the book much smaller, but this exhibition at the Botanical Garden is kind of a dream come true, because when I was working on the book, I really had a vision of presenting all of them together. So I was really thinking of them as an exhibition and as a set of paintings as much as they were a book. And also the shape of them has this arch at the top, and I really liked the idea of sort of having these windows into particular places in the world. Although my husband is a carpenter, and he said, you know, I haven't installed an arched window in my entire career. But yeah, I liked the sort of the idea of looking into a place or looking into something a little more closely.
He's probably very proficient in arches at this point now.
He is, yeah, and he's built in my exhibition at the Botanical Garden. The other works that are in the show that aren't from the book, some of them actually do have a wooden arch that he built for me. So it's a shape that comes back, and I think, you know, it references illuminated manuscripts and medieval painting and this idea of sort of looking through a corridor, which I really like.
And kind of menagerie-esque.
Yeah, it does feel that way.
Yeah, or a bird cage or something.
Ah, yes.
Oh.
And we are speaking with Robin Crowfoot Brittingham about the illuminated book of birds, which is gorgeous, and the paintings from the book, which will be on display in your home haunts of the Berkshire Botanical Gardens with a big event on Saturday, November 29th. What came first, your love of the way birds looked and wanting to paint them, or your desire to learn more about the details of birds? Because it is not just pictures of birds. There is copious research into the names and some of the details about these birds from all over the world.
Well, they kind of happen simultaneously. I mean, the book project has definitely led me deeper down the road of learning about the facts of birds than I ever was going. But I've always been really interested in the symbolism of animals and natural materials. So, you know, in the book, you'll read things like loons are, which is a very important bird to me, are this, Ojibwe culture in mythology. They have this connection between the process of transitioning between two worlds. So, living and dying or whatever it is. So I was really interested in things like that. And then through this book, I started to find all these little tidbits about other birds that I hadn't known. Like there's a bird called the yellow hammer. That's a European bird, and it's supposedly the sound of that bird is the inspiration for Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, because he would take these long walks and hear it. So I love things like that about the birds. So that kind of information had already been making its way into my paintings, but the book has definitely drawn that out in a way that's been really wonderful.
I want to know more about more of these birds that you're discovering here, because both of those stories are things that I've never heard before. I love the idea about the loon and Ojibwe culture, and I love that Beethoven might have been influenced by one of these birds. Any other fun tidbits about birds from your illuminated book of birds that you can share with us?
Oh, there's so many. Another bird is the mandarin duck, which was interesting to me because it's an incredibly striking bird, and today you see them in lakes and ponds all over the place. But I guess they originate in Asia, and they are in lakes and ponds partially because they were so beautiful that people who were doing landscaping would bring them there as sort of like a part of the landscape to like as decoration. And then there's some very interesting mythological significance to them. Like they're seen as the reincarnation of these two star-crossed lovers circling a pond. And there's a lot of things like this. Birds, I mean, because of their ability to, fly away from here, I think that they have inspired so much mythology and so much sort of yearning for other places. And I was really interested in them as this larger symbol of getting away from a place or going to a different world.
We're speaking with the artist and writer Robin Crowfoot Brittingham, who I think we should change your name to Robin Crowfoot Birdingham. I mean, you're so close to having a trifecta of bird-related names. And the book is the Illuminated Book of Birds, and it will be celebrated at the Berkshire Botanical Gardens in Stockbridge, wrapping up the exhibit there of these beautiful paintings on Saturday, November 29th. You are a painter, and using these beautiful watercolors. My mental perception of birds of the world is that if you're looking at birds from Latin America or from Africa, they're going to be more vibrant and more colorful than the birds of North America and maybe parts north.
Because we killed those.
Well, yeah. Or is your perception of that, is my perception of that true as an artist who's having to pick the colors to represent these birds?
I mean, there's some truth to that, but I like doing the research for this book, I did come across some birds that really look kind of tropical and exotic that do make their way to the Northeast. Well, one that I have seen before and comes through the Berkshires certainly is the rose-breasted grosbeak, which is like this amazing bird that's like not super uncommon, but they're only around at certain times of year, and they have a very sort of tropical look to them. Mm-hmm. But also what's interesting about birds is a lot of birds migrate so far. And also, I mean, there is truth to the fact that some of the sort of less colorful birds live in the colder climates, but some of that is also by design. I have a page of birds of the Arctic Circle, and there's several birds on that page that their feathers change depending on the weather so that they can blend into the snow and stuff. So they'll sort of turn into a grayer, whiter, snowy color during the colder part of the year. So I think that's kind of interesting that birds come to represent the landscape that they come from as well.
Are there any things that became easier about painting them?
Well, I think a few people have asked me, sort of why make an illustrated book when there's so many, birds are photographed so prolifically now. And my answer to that is always that I think what's really interesting about painting birds versus photographing them is that so much of the color of so many birds actually comes from the way that they catch light and the way that light reflects through their feathers. So I think it's really interesting to paint birds because you're able to capture colors of birds that you might not see all at once if you're looking at them or if you're looking at a photograph of them. The example I always use is starlings, which are, if you've seen a starling like in the array of sunshine, they can be this like beautiful glowing purple green iridescent bird. But if you see them without light on them, they're kind of black and boring looking. That's an interesting thing you can do with paint or with illustration, is that you can kind of decide how much of that light to capture in the bird. doing this project has definitely made me look more closely at birds and also, appreciate some of these like really tiny birds, chickadees or sparrows, the birds you see so often that you stop seeing them because they're everywhere. So, taking the time to really study those birds and look at those birds.
I do genuinely love every picture of a bird that you have that looks like it's screaming.
Ah, yeah. A lot of them with their beaks open.
And
They could be screaming.
Including one called the clamorous reed warbler, and that just seems like leaning in.
Bird names are just so much fun because they sound like you're saying something naughty sometimes, but you're just saying the name of a bird.
Yeah, if you're looking at tits and boobies.
Yes, exactly. Those are birds, kids.
Those are birds.
Yeah.
So is Robin, and so is Crow. Robin Crowfoot Brittingham. You're originally from the Berkshires. You now live in Canada, but you're coming back to the Berkshires for this event at the Berkshire Botanical Gardens on Saturday, November 29th. What are you most looking forward to coming back to your home haunts?
Some of my home haunts are no longer, which is sad. But I love going hiking in that area around Great Barrington and stuff. I love eating Indian food in Great Barrington, which is still the best Indian food ever, in my opinion.
Uh-huh.
My whole family is in the area. I have a lot of family in Sandusfield. I think it's becoming more on the map, but when I grew up, it was kind of Siberia. But I love it up there because it's a great place to see birds. It's very quiet, and it's just wonderful to go walking around the woods there.
What's the smallest scale that you've worked in? Because when I look at pictures of your work, these frames are like the size of people.
Yeah, I've worked really small. I think my favorite thing to do is to work on very small detail at a very large scale. So that's sort of always what I'm going for. So my paintings get bigger and bigger, but my details get smaller and smaller.
Interesting.
Which is part of the message of the work, because I think what I really want is for people to get up close and sort of observe things that they might not see if they're just walking past. So to sort of force people to look more closely at the work. But I also think this book and my work in general is so many things are produced by AI and digitally and stuff. So I kind of like the rebellion of making things in this absurd, time-consuming way as a statement. Yeah.
We mentioned that this is the first in a series. What's the next animal or natural item that's going to be painted in large scale and then shrunk down to a book?
So the second book, which is finished actually, is it will be coming out next year, is the Illuminated Book of Blooms. And then the third one is the Illuminated Book of Beasts, which I've just started working on. So
the alliterative world of bee.
Yes, exactly. If you could think of anything else, maybe I'll add it on. Maybe bees or something.
Perfect. You just came up with it right now.
There you go.
Well done.
I mean, if you do bugs, then you can do them all.
Oh, yeah, bugs.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many bugs.
I really like the opportunity to really explore these different natural worlds, and it was interesting because in the bird book there is a lot of foliage, and I did, behind the birds, and I did my best to align that with the area that the birds are coming from, but I'm not a scientist. And it is interesting now, having finished the Bloom book, is I've learned so much more about flowers and about plants, and so there's a part of me that's like, oh, I want to do the bird book again with all this new information to sort of, and there are a few birds that pop up in the Bloom book because I couldn't help myself. But it's very nice to be able to go so deep into each of these subjects.
Plus, it gives you an immediate in back to the botanical garden once your Book of Blooms comes out, because that is even more so what they are all about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, I'm so happy to have my work there because, I'm from the Berkshires and I love the botanical garden and I love the exhibits they put on. And so it has been really special, sort of full circle moment to bring that work back there and share it with all my friends and family from the area. So hopefully it'll happen again. We'll see.
Well, the first in the series of books is gorgeous. It's practically a coffee table book, tiny little bit smaller maybe, but it's a beautiful gift if you love a birder for the holiday season. It's the Illuminated Book of Birds by Robin Crowfoot Brittingham, who will be at the Berkshire Botanical Gardens near her home in the Berkshires, where she's from, on Saturday, November 29th.
At 2 p.m.
Looking forward to seeing these gorgeous, beautiful paintings in real life. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. This was such a pretty book.
Thank you.
Find more information about the event with Robin Crowfoot Brittingham and her amazing book and her fantastic watercolor exhibit at the Berkshire Botanical Gardens, currently on display through the end of the month, including a talk with the artist herself on November 29th. Find out more again about that on their website, berkshirebotanical.org. Now, we'll bask in the goodwill and good sounds of Lux Deluxe for Live Music Friday and tell you how you can have a good time and help a good cause with that band at the Iron Horse a week from today. You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Comfort Bagel, scratch-made artisan sourdough bagels, spreads, and sandwiches for breakfast or lunch on Main Street in Westfield and at their new location in Holyoke at 92 Race Street. ComfortBagel.com. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Eastside Grill, celebrating 40 years in downtown Northampton, serving steaks, seafood, and American cuisine to the Pioneer Valley and beyond. Open Wednesday through Monday, eastsidegrill.com.
Hello, Mama. Hello, Papa. Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. It's Live Music Friday. And next Friday, November 28th, at the Iron Horse, it's a night of rock and roll to support your neighbors. A year after releasing their self-titled album, Northampton rockers Lux Deluxe are teaming up with the Food Bank of Western Mass, heard of them, to throw a benefit show that helps to make sure your neighbors have enough to eat, especially as we enter the holiday season.
50% of the show's ticket profits will go to the food bank, and if you're able, you can bring a non-perishable food item to donate. Money donations, cash and digital, will also be accepted the day of.
And we are joined in the studio once again by Lux Deluxe for Live Music Friday. Let's start out with a song and then we'll chat.
Every day I've wasted here
Lux Deluxe for Live Music Friday, who next Friday, November 28th, will be playing at the Iron Horse, a benefit for the Food Bank of Western Mass.
This wasn't originally going to be a benefit, and then it became one. Why the change?
This is our second annual show at post-Thanksgiving show at the Iron Horse. We don't have an album or anything we're promoting. And then there was the government shutdown that happened leading up to the show, and then we saw that the SNAP benefits were going to be ending, and that was disturbing to see. And so we kind of got together and we were like, it's a Thanksgiving show, so we need to have some meaning here, and let's make it more about the community and try to do our part. We've done a few benefit concerts in the past for the Northampton Survival Center and stuff, so we've kind of learned that we can sort of use musical skills for good in the community. So that's why we kind of commandeered our own show to become a benefit concert for the food bank.
I love that. This is happening, we said, a week from this Friday on November 28th, Black Friday, as some say. And you mentioned that you don't have a new album coming out, but what is in store for Lux Deluxe in the near horizon, maybe in 2026?
We got some secret things in the works.
Not allowed to talk about it?
Yeah.
No, we can talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's basically, so this record we put out last year, we're kind of doing, I hesitate to call it a remix of it, but basically we're getting a lot of people that we are either, musicians we either admire or also people we work with around here, local musicians, to kind of collaborate on the songs that we did put out.
Oh, cool.
And they're going to do either their own versions of those songs or kind of like do almost like covers of them. But so it's kind of like a mishmash of different things. Like they can use the tracks or they can kind of make up their own sort of thing. But it's just kind of a way of collaborating with a lot of people we love.
That's fun.
That's awesome.
And I know that in our old incarnation at 93.9 The River, whenever you would come in and sing 93.9 The River, wouldn't you cover Lux Deluxe a Sun Parade melody?
Yes.
And Sun Parade would cover a Lux Deluxe melody.
Yeah.
So there is this real fun collaboration that happens with the music scene here in the Valley, and I really, really love that.
I don't think we ever talked about it.
It was such an inside joke, and it doesn't really matter. It's just people singing the name of the radio station. But it was fun for me and the other people that worked at the station to know that that's what was actually going on every time you were in there to do that. Ned, you also are a co-owner of one of the finest cocktail bars.
Thank you.
In our area, Gigantic in East Hampton. What's your favorite go-to cocktail at the moment?
That is such a hard thing to decide.
Especially because the seasons are changing.
Yeah,
which
I know. It
changes
really
your
is
taste
dependent
at the
on
same
that.
time.
Think about how cold it's getting. What are you going to mix for
You're
us?
switching to the classics menu,
It's
right?
true.
I'm coming in and you're tending bar and I say, just give me something. My mom just died. Give me something good, Ned.
You got to go with the classic.
I like, personally, I like the one I go to more often than other drinks. I know, so intense.
Well, no, it's that my brain immediately thought, he hands you a corpse reviver.
Corpse Reviver! Mom!
You know, I don't really like corpse survivors that much. So,
Wait,
I'm not going to give you
There's
that.
2 recipes to choose from. You don't have to like the first one.
That's true. That's true. I think there's actually more than 2.
Oh, there's
I think
way
there might even
more.
be a number 3.
Yeah, I think there's
Maybe.
plenty.
50-50 martini.
Oh?
That's what I like. Half vermouth, half gin, orange bitters.
Really?
Yep. Because you can drink a couple of them. You don't get too drunk.
Uh-huh.
But you get the flavor. I love vermouth personally. I
Yeah.
know people don't, but they don't keep their vermouth in the fridge. That's the problem.
And do you
gotta
are you
keep it
using a
fresh.
dry or a sweet vermouth?
Dry. Actually, half dry, half blanc, white vermouth.
Okay. I think
Yeah.
I'm going to have to come in and try that.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's
This
really
is
good.
the season where I introduce a lot of bartenders to the Americano, and they go, we don't have a coffee machine. And I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about.
You want to say what's in that before?
It is sweet vermouth and bitter orange liqueur, usually Campari, and soda. It's basically a Negroni without the gin component.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We didn't do a wine Thunderdome on today's show, which we often do a wine tasting, but we didn't have one today. So this is a cocktail Thunderdome.
Yeah.
That's good. And we are joined by Lux Deluxe, who a week from today will be at the Iron Horse doing a benefit show for the Food Bank of Western Mass. Let's hear another song.
All right.
I can play, I swear.
I feel like I should mention that like only one of the guitarists in this room has a strap. Like everyone's
We weren't thinking about that.
everyone is just
We have
holding their
chairs,
guitars.
too. We could have given you a
Like
chair.
this is hardcore.
Honestly, it's easier to play
Jake,
this
the drummer,
like
is sitting on a trash can. Is that a trash can?
it's an old computer.
Oh, an old
He's playing a
computer,
trash
and
can.
but playing a trash can and a snare drum.
And I
with
wanted
a wallet on
to
it.
comment on the fact that you're using your wallet as a gel.
Yeah, it kind of mutes
the
the
original
snare.
dampener.
Yeah.
We are professionals.
Professionals know how to make the best use of their space and equipment in front of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a detraction in any way. It's just sort of like, that's pretty awesome. You're playing with the money.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah, literally. Jake's the rich one in the band.
Here we go.
All right, just in our nature. Here we go.
Millions of people, they look just like me. They fall on their faces and smile with their teeth until you say something, you didn't say nothing. It's just in our nature. The silence is louder, everybody's a shouter. It's just in our nature. Yeah, it's just in our nature. I want you to find me. I'll let someone down. So won't you to find me? Help me sound it out. Be somebody loud, a shoulder to cry on, a sympathy stranger. When the time finally comes and it alters to nothing, it's just in our nature. Oh, it's just in our nature. For the wounded of the heart, it finally falls apart. It's just in our nature. 'Cause we're all people pleasers, we're people deceivers. It's just in our nature. Oh, it's just in our nature.
Lux Deluxe here for Live Music Friday and the Fabulous 413. If you've not seen Lux Deluxe live, they put on a show.
A show.
It is
like capital letters show.
one of the best party bands in the Valley for sure, in my humble opinion. And being able to pull that off, doing almost exclusively original music, a tough thing to do, but you do it so well.
Wow.
And then the time after this benefit concert that is happening on the 28th at the Iron Horse, are you going to be the backing band for Kimaya's sold-out holiday show?
I think that a few of us will be making an appearance. Jake's going to be
We'll all be
in
there.
the band
Yeah.
the whole show. The rest of us popping on and off as needed.
Nice. Once again, the interwoven musical family, some of which you're married into.
Very true.
With Kimaya in particular for that one right there.
It's a musical dynasty.
Yeah, it really is. But I mean, it's a family, and I think every time that the family of the musicians gets together in the area, something special happens, and it's fun to observe it from the outside as a performer in the bands. But
and it's fun to see y'all be a part of it and that network, just like Titan over the years.
We love this area of music and the people that we get to see play music, and we just want to play music with everybody as much as we can. It's still a very rich art scene here, and we're happy to be a part of it.
And then you using your musical talents for good to raise money for your neighbors who don't have enough to eat, as this is a benefit for the Food Bank of Western Mass next Friday.
Because famously, musicians do not have money.
Yeah.
Very true.
Exactly. But then it's also awesome that, Young at Heart Chorus, who's playing on Sunday, that's on the show today, they're doing a fundraiser for the food, or like a can drive for the food bank.
Yep.
So it's, or the Survival Center, who you did one, a benefit for. So yeah.
Every bit helps.
Every little bit helps. Lux Deluxe, thanks so much for being here for Live Music Friday with us.
Thanks
for having us.
for having us again.
No, our pleasure. Head over to ironhorse.org to get tickets to the Lux Deluxe benefit show for the Food Bank of Western Mass on November 28th. And head over to their Bandcamp page to check out all of their albums, because they have more than just the one they put out last year, although that one is real good too. Next week on the Fabulous 413, we get to walking a whole 43 miles from Springfield to Greenfield to highlight the issues surrounding hunger in our area. The 16th annual March for the Food Bank happens this Monday and Tuesday, but you should join us for the one on Saturday in Pittsfield. That's tomorrow, starting at 9 at Hot Plate, because I'll be at that one. But some folks are walking part of the way, some are walking all of the way. We'll hear voices and stories from the march as Monty, Congressman McGovern, Andrew Morehouse of the Food Bank go on. See you Monday.